I'm ready to go.
Excuse me. And coming to you, Harrison, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Spring is less than a week and a half away, and you know what? That's it. If we have a blizzard, we have one, but don't worry about it. Live in the moment. It's beautiful out. So I've got a great guest tonight, beautiful young lady here. The state of Connecticut is well represented on Topic Time. I've had quite a few guests from there last year, and we have one, this is our first one for 2020, and that's fine, and we'll talk to her in a minute. But before we get to her, I've got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence with the show. So we got AdvancedAutoCar.com in Rockland. I'll mention the Topic Time gets $400 discount on car. All cars under $9,000 certified and pre-owned. We got Studio 53 Hair Salon in Day Spa in Pembroke. 20% off first-time visits. Prom season coming, and they also do spray tanning for that. We got Plimpton Cycles in Plimpton. Great motorcycles, great service. We got good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We get Smoke and Ashes Tobacco Company in Abington News, and they have stores at convenient locations in Pembroke, Hanover, Whitman, and Abington. And they're also opening a new store called Sesh Wellness and Accessories in East Bridgewater. It's not open yet, no phone yet. And last but not least, we got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. And I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, now we will start the show officially. So. This young lady here, her name is Catherine with 2 A's, Catherine Warner. She's a makeup artist and a lash artist now. I always liked, as you can see, looking at her, she's very creative about her own appearance, and you gotta love that. So we're gonna talk to her tonight, because to me, anything that's creative is worth talking. Any person that's creative is worth talking to. So Catherine, thanks for coming up here from the Constitution State of Connecticut to be on my show tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's wonderful having you on here. So tell me something. You're a young lady, and you have a pretty good business going. Are you self-employed?
No, I work for a salon in Coventry, Rhode Island called Cutting Edge Hair Designs, and I'm also employed by Anley Academy out of East Providence, which is a nail technology and lash school.
Okay. So you're basically you're an appendage person.
Yeah.
Nails and lashes.
Yeah, I actually don't do nails, but I am in charge of the lash program at the school, and then at the salon I do hair and facials and lashes at the salon also.
Okay, interesting. Okay. So how did you get into the work? Now let's talk about what I do with all my guests. Is I try to find out what they were like as young kids. You don't look like you're much past that. You look like you're a 20-something. So how did you end up doing what you're doing? What were you like as a kid? How did it end up making you want to? I mean, looking the way you colored your hair today, it's pretty clear that you like to stand out. Am I right?
I like the colors.
I do too.
So I was a kind of quiet kid.
Yep.
I was always really nice and polite, but
what's the matter with you? Just kidding.
but very nerdy and dorky. I would rather be in a book than doing anything else.
Okay.
Pretty much growing up, I was homeschooled.
Really? Why?
My mom has a degree in education, and my father is a software engineer for Raytheon.
Okay.
So the public education in my town was less than desirable, and I was always a little bit ahead, and my mom didn't really want to put me ahead because I was really tiny, and they figured, hey, we can probably do this. So they took me out of school when I was 7, and when I was 10, they found a program in California that a lot of celebrities use, actually, but it's like an accredited high school, and you do it all at home. So they tested me, and I was 2 grades ahead in everything but math. I was 3 grades ahead.
Wow.
So I actually graduated high school when I was 15 with like a full real
That
high
is
school
incredible.
diploma.
That in and of itself is a story for a show.
Yeah, so that's where I started, and then I went to a community
Well, first of all,
college.
did you grow up in Connecticut?
Yes.
You did?
Born and raised in Putnam.
Putnam, love that. Yeah, they have what they call a VOR in Putnam, which is I used to have a pilot's license, and it's one of the navigation things on the ground that enables a pilot to see where he's going, anywhere from Providence to Long Island, and so I've used it. Plus, I've done theater down there
Oh,
too.
at the Bradley, or
Yes, the Bradley.
I was in shows when I was a kid.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm trying to figure out a little more about you, because first of all, when I hear that somebody graduated high school at 15, it makes me wonder why they didn't win a Pulitzer yet.
Yeah, well, I've been to 5 colleges.
5? 10? Did you graduate all of them?
1.
Okay, what was that?
So I graduated from Quinsigamond Community College in Worcester, Mass.
Okay.
I was my graduation speaker.
What'd you major in?
Liberal arts.
Okay, that's fine.
But so when I was 16, I went to a community college in Danielson, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And I was there for biotechnology.
Okay.
And then I got accepted to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in upstate New York.
I've
which
heard of
is-
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's one of the top 25 engineering schools in
Yeah.
the country. And I was there for about a year, and I hated every second of it.
Okay, well that's fine if you tried it at least.
Exactly, and I was also a ballerina growing up too.
There you go. Talk about that. That must have been
and
wonderful.
I really wanted to do that. Like, I had convinced myself that I needed to do a real job. So that's
Okay.
why I was going to school for biology. And then I dropped out of that school, and I said, I'm going to be a dancer. And then I tore my hip flexor right before auditions.
That's rough.
So I ended up just going to community college, graduating from there, and then I transferred to UMass
Well,
Amherst.
what was the community college?
Quinsigamond Community
Oh, that was the
College.
one you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so I graduated from there and then transferred to UMass Amherst for Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies.
Oh, I like that.
So I've been all over
Can
the
you-
place, all over the board.
Can you be a little more elaborate on what that is?
So a lot of the classes I took
Without,
focused
getting
on,
us in trouble with
yeah, of
I'm
course.
only kidding. Go ahead.
A lot of the classes I took focused on, a lot of feminism and what it actually means versus what, the media think it means,
Okay.
and gender equality, and it went all the way back into like colonialism and how, colonialism still affects us today. So it was very,
In a
very
negative
broad,
way,
in a
right?
negative way,
Yes.
yeah. It was
Okay.
very, very broad. I took a class called Trans Rights, and it was super interesting, but not a great place for my mental health as far as the school went. So I dropped out of there too.
Okay. Now I noticed. Now that you mentioned it, the other day was like Women's Day. Now, that
Yeah,
must have been a
International Women's
Did you
Day.
celebrate it?
Of course,
Good for
always,
you.
every year.
Okay.
It's exciting. There's so many
I only heard of
amazing
it
women.
I only heard of it this year, like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, no, it's every year, and there's so many amazing women to celebrate. I always try.
Have you ever done acting at all?
No.
But you said you did dancing, but not
Yes,
acting.
no, I
But
did
you hurt
dancing.
your hip, so you didn't continue.
Yes,
Okay.
I have a couple injuries from dance, so I'm not able to anymore. But I did dancing and vocal lessons when I was
Singing?
a child. Yes.
Okay, what about that? You do any music at all?
No, never. I
what
sing
did
in
you-
the car, and that's about it.
Sing in the car, but you took singing lessons.
Yeah, so I did it because I like to do community theater. Like, I did a couple shows at the Bradley. Just
Oh,
in,
you
like,
did? Okay,
the
so you did do
child's
some
chorus.
acting in theater.
A little, but I've always felt very awkward acting.
okay.
So it's never been a thing that like super gelled with me. It was always dance. Dance
Because
was where my
you
heart
seem
went.
to you kind of defy the odds. I mean, you've got so many interesting things that you've done, and there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, but it's unusual for someone that has your history to be working in the paint field,
Yeah.
in the paint face or the lash field or in hairstyling. Correct?
I think that my dance upbringing really actually kind of sparked that.
Okay.
Because from the age of 9 on, I've been putting on fake eyelashes and full lipstick and everything for
Yeah, yeah.
performances. So we always had to have, a full face of makeup, and I always loved it. And even when I was 13, I told my mom, I want purple hair. And she was like, you can't have purple hair. You need to look like everyone else in your dance company. I need to have the slick back bun and have it go with the costumes and everything. But even when I was a kid, I wanted purple hair. I just wanted purple hair. And so I think that every time I would drop out of a new college, I'd say, maybe I'll go to cosmetology school now, because it's something I've always really wanted to do.
Okay, that's what
And
you
then I
wanted.
just convinced myself, no, I need a real job, because I don't know why I thought that cosmetology was not a real job.
Well, it is a real job,
It
and you
is.
have it now.
Exactly, and it's the best thing I ever did with
Good.
my life ever.
Okay.
I am so happy that I made the choice to go to school and take this journey.
So speaking of that, do you work with actors? I mean, do you make them up and dancers? Do you work with the kind of people that you tried to be when you were younger?
Not really, honestly. Most
Okay.
of my makeup focuses on like boudoir photography. So kind of women empowerment for women that are trying to feel better about themselves.
Okay.
We, have them pick out special outfits, and I'll do their makeup, and someone else will do their hair, and then a photographer will, take pictures of them, and it's really...
Oh, so you work with models?
Yeah,
Okay.
but not, like professional models. Sometimes I do. I've worked with a couple, but mostly it's just, normal everyday women that just need a confidence boost, and it
Okay.
is so rewarding to see the way they feel about themselves before and after you do their hair and makeup, and see like how confident they are after. And I always try and tell them, I didn't really do anything. I just focused on what was there, and it's just like amazing. It's such a rewarding experience.
So the only thing missing from this show is a girl who feels inferior that you give a makeover to right on the show, and
Right.
then everybody says, "Wow, who knew you don't even look
Right.
like the same person."
Right. It's so exciting. I
Yeah.
love doing it.
But that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. You wouldn't happen to have any? I mean, if you don't, that's fine. But you wouldn't happen to have any videos of people you've worked with, or
I have
pictures
some
of?
photos. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any on like online or like that that you could email to the station?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll do
I
that
have
when we
folders
share.
and
They can-
folders of pictures.
That's good because then they can edit it into the show
Yeah,
and then people can
absolutely.
see what you've done. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So now that having been said, but I mean, you're still young. How long have you been working for this cosmetology company?
Since the beginning of the year, actually.
That's only that's just 3 months.
Yeah,
not
it's
even
just a
2
couple months.
Okay.
It's actually really exciting because most of the time when I actually just graduated cosmetology school last year.
Okay.
And it was supposed to take about a year. I got kind of sick halfway through, so it took me about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
But I finished, and that's all that matters. I did it on my own time, and I did it.
Yep.
And I lucked into an amazing salon, my first salon.
The one in Rhode Island.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
actually worked at a different salon first,
Okay.
called a Galleria and Spa, and it was my educator from school's mom's salon, and
Okay.
they taught me so much and helped me build up my clientele, and then they ended up closing the salon, and we all moved over to this other salon that
Why did
we
they
now
close
work
it?
at. Just like a lot was going on,
Okay.
like with their own lives, it was just the best idea for them to close it at the time.
Okay.
But we all moved over to this new salon, and it is amazing. I have gotten some amazing clients. I've had one with me for over a year now,
That's
and
great.
she's the first client I ever had rebook with me, and she's still with me. My boss gives me so much freedom to do whatever I want, make what specials I want, take what clients I want. It's awesome. And so
Okay.
that I went there last June, and then over the course of the end of last year, I was contacted by this school, and they were interested in starting a lash program. So we talked about it, but they wanted it to get approved by the state of Rhode Island. So
Okay.
something
Do you
was
need a license for this? I guess you do.
technically
State
yes,
license,
yeah. Technically yes. What you need is a cosmetology or esthetician's license
yeah,
in the state of
that's
Rhode
right.
Island to do lash extensions. But what they wanted to do, a lot of the programs that teach lash extensions are a day course.
Okay.
It's someone that comes in, you go to a hotel room, you learn about an hour's worth of theory, and then you work on a model the rest of the time.
Okay.
Now, a lot of lash techs will tell you that that's really not enough at all. There's so much. You're working with tweezers, with very, intense medically safe glues, right on people's eyeballs, attaching
Right.
small
On the
pieces.
eyeballs?
Yeah, you're
Woo.
attaching small pieces of plastic to every individual lash on people's eyes, and sometimes you're attaching up to 16 on one individual eyelash. So there's a lot that
Does
goes
that
into
include body
it.
piercing too?
I guess.
Well, I mean, for you, you already have a piercing in your
I
nose?
have, yes, 4.
But what I'm asking you is, do you pierce other people's
No,
skin?
no,
You
that
never
is
do.
something. Yeah,
Okay.
that's something completely different. You
Not
need
deliberately
like a-
anyway. But what if it? I mean, I'm just saying. It sounds like you're really, treading a slippery slope here.
Yeah, it's very important to make sure, especially right now with everything going on, you want to make sure everything is sanitized.
Exactly.
Like I said, you're working with sharp tweezers on people's eyes. You want to make sure they're sanitized. You want to make sure that you're putting on extensions that are healthy for the lashes, because a lot of people who aren't trained put things on that are too heavy, or they glue multiple lashes together, and then that's when the lashes fall out and your natural lashes fall out with it, and you have gaps, and it takes a lot to grow back. So it's really
Plus,
important.
you can blind someone.
Exactly.
Wow.
A lot of people will put the glue directly on the skin when it's not meant for that. It's meant for the eyelash only. So it's really
And
important.
well, what if some of it like slips off? I mean,
Exactly.
Wow.
There's so many things that you
you're
need
like
to
a
be-
surgeon out there.
Pretty much.
I don't think
I had a friend call it eye surgery.
Yeah, I mean, even that's what I'm saying. Even people that get laser surgery, even people that perform it, probably don't have to have to be as careful as you do.
Yeah,
in order
and
not to blind
there's
someone.
so much that goes into it, and you are working very closely with people, so it's important to me
Wow.
to make sure that people are getting the best education they can, and making sure that they're
Well,
going out
all right,
into
the best
world.
education. You mean like you teach it too?
Yes,
Oh,
I
you
teach.
do?
I'm one of the trainers there at the school for
Wow.
teaching lash extension. So our class is a 3-day program.
Wow.
It is completely sanctioned by the post-secondary commissioner in Rhode Island, so we're completely state approved. We're the only program in Rhode Island that's state approved.
Okay.
And we offer, so many different things for our students. They can come back whenever they want to learn more at no extra charge. We really try and set it up for them to make sure they're getting everything they need, and they can always have their questions asked.
Okay.
Because one day is not enough to learn it. You need more than that.
Yeah, I can sure. Yeah, it even sounds like 3 days wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, 3 days is we're the longest program that there is in the state. But
okay.
we're working on trying to make it so you need an actual license for lash extension. So you need more training. Connecticut just passed a law that you need 50 hours of training to be a lash tech.
Okay.
And we're trying to work on the same thing in Rhode Island, so that way it's a little more regulated than it is now.
So I'm just trying to paint myself a picture
Yeah.
here. When you train someone, do you use like fake heads to start?
Yes, to
Is it,
start we use fake heads.
Practice on fake
Everyone
heads.
gets, a fake little
Mannequins or
mannequin
whatever,
and then
yeah.
little fake lashes that you can
Wow.
practice on. But then the next 2 days, for the second half of the day, you bring in a live model. And there's me and there's another instructor, and we stand there the whole time, watch everything, help out, make sure you're doing it the right way.
Wow.
And then, it takes a long time at first. When I first started, it took me 5 hours to do one person. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Now it takes me about 2, but it takes a lot of practice. So
Yeah, I guess.
I wish that I had someone standing there with me for 4 hours, making sure that I knew exactly what I was doing and teaching me everything I needed to know instead of just kind of doing it for me. So
I admire your tenacity, because I wouldn't have the patience for that.
I love it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good, and I'm sure it's obvious you do pretty well. You got people you've had for a long time
Mm-hmm.
that were with you with the old salon before you moved, right?
yep.
Okay. How many people work there? About it must
At the
be pretty
school,
good. No, I mean yeah, at the school and the salon.
So at the school,
Are they the same? Are they one and the same?
No, they're not.
Okay.
So the school is, there's me and one other eyelash instructor. There are 3 nail instructors,
Okay.
and then a handful, I think about 3 or 4 administration. So it's small right now,
Yeah.
but it's growing like crazy. We've had to add extra programs because the interest in both programs is so significant. And at the salon, there's only 3 of us that actually work for the salon. I
Okay.
work for the owner, but all the other women rent their spaces, which is really common in the beauty industry.
Right.
They pay rent for their space, and then they bring in their own clients. So I'd say all in all, there's probably about 7 or 8 of us at the salon, and kind of around the same, like 10 or so at the school.
Okay. All right. So how many hours a week do you work usually?
I'm pretty much work Thursday through Tuesday, and then I have Wednesdays off.
Wednesdays off.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the weekends, even Sundays.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
No
Wow.
such thing as a weekend off in the beauty industry.
Right. I understand. All right. Well, what do you plan? Just curious. I assume you're going to continue to do this indefinitely. You want the salon to grow so you get more people.
Absolutely.
And if it does, you're going to. I mean, so far the company's a one-trick pony. They don't have branches. They only have more than one branch, right?
Right.
Okay. So, but eventually, you think they will?
The school, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that the school, especially with the way it's going now, I think they absolutely will expand. The owner owns about 5 salons and spas
Okay.
in the kind of Rhode Island.
What town?
Mass.
What town in Rhode Island? Old Socket?
East Providence.
East Providence.
East
Okay.
Providence for the school.
Sure, okay.
So the owner owns a bunch of salons and spas, and I know that they want to expand. I know we're trying to start an estheticians program at the school.
Okay.
So we're going to add, a bunch more stuff coming up. And the salon, as far as the salon goes, my boss, she's a mom. She has 2 kids,
Okay.
and it's her salon, it's her business. She lives in the area, Coventry, and
Okay.
that'll probably just kind of stay as the salon it is right now. But
Yep.
the school, I know they definitely want to expand.
So, how much time do you spend at the school a week? As
3
opposed
days
to the salon?
3 days at the school, 3 days at the salon.
Okay, so you bide your time half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And how many hours a day do you teach at the school?
At the school, it's 8 hours a day.
8 hours. Wow. So
Yeah.
is it a 9 to 5 thing?
Yep,
Oh, it is.
absolutely. That's
Okay.
exactly it.
Okay. Do you do any? Do you advertise at all, like on TV down in Rhode Island, or or send out periodicals to people?
Yeah, the school, they've done some radio segments
Okay.
sometimes.
WHJY maybe?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, you know
'cause
HJY is in East Providence.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sure if that's the one in East Providence, I'm sure
Yeah.
that's the one they've done. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a radio person. But my boss at the salon advertises in the Coventry Reminder paper, so
Okay.
we get people coming in from there. She's very big about posting on Facebook and Instagram to draw people in, and I have my own professional Instagram that I post on
Okay.
often, as does the school. We have an Instagram, a Facebook, and we just started a TikTok page. So
Which page?
a TikTok page.
TikTok?
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
this
clock?
yeah, it's this big thing, this big social media thing. I don't really understand it, but a lot of the younger kids love it. It's like short 60-second videos, and everyone
Have you ever been in
posts.
one?
No,
Well,
I've
you
never
should
been
be.
in one.
Listen, I'm gonna say something right now. As I'm sitting here listening to you talk, I try to give advice to my guests that I think would help them out. I think you'd be great in one of those videos.
Yeah, well, I'm in charge of the TikTok now, so
Well-
you'll probably be seeing me in
Well,
some.
no, I mean that's awesome because
Yeah.
and I could hear you doing an ad too for the school or just doing something on TV.
Yeah.
You have a very you have a very like eye catching and very compelling personality.
Thank you.
Very in kind of a
I try.
in a bubbly way
Yeah.
that I think people would take to, and I think you'd be great at it.
Thanks.
But that's not for me to say. What you need to do. I mean, it sounds like you're pretty tight with your boss.
Yes.
Now, was the boss of the school the same as the boss of the salon?
No, completely different. Yep.
Okay. Well, but do they both know each other?
I don't think so. No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You would think that there'd be some kind of a camaraderie between them, given the industry being so tight the way it is.
Well, I think it's because our salon is really mostly we mostly are a hair salon. We have all the other services too, facials, nails, lashes.
But you
all
but
of
you don't
that,
do them
but
all. You only do the eye stuff, right?
I actually am a licensed hairstylist.
Oh, you
also.
are?
Yeah, so I do hair. I do hair, lashes, and facials at the salon. And makeup when it's necessary.
Okay.
And then makeup I kind of do on my own with local photographers, and then the school is its own thing. So I don't do clients at the school. I only teach at the
You
school.
only teach at the school.
Yeah.
So you wear a few hats, as they say.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds awesome. So how do you promote your stuff? I mean, just the way you were talking about the new TikTok thing.
Yeah, so I mean, right now the beauty industry is super big on social media.
Yep.
So I am always posting on my Instagram because I definitely get a lot of interaction from Instagram.
Yep.
And I will send my boss pictures from the salon, and she'll post them on our salon's Facebook page, and people will message us with interest. Sometimes if I have a slow week, I'll post on my own Facebook saying, I have these spots open.
Okay.
And I have a lot of friends that I've known for kind of my whole life that now that I am, actually working in the salon and they're seeing that the work I do is pretty good, I have a lot more people coming to me from people that I know. So I have a
Does
lot
that
of my
include
clients
your
are
friends? Are they also clients as well?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
exactly. A lot of my
Nothing
friends
wrong
have
with
turned
that.
into clients, and a lot of my clients have turned into friends.
That's
so,
even better. That's
yeah.
good too. That's great.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you should definitely, if you have a picture of the salon and the school, you should, that we can look at. That would be
Absolutely,
great.
yeah.
Okay, that's great. All right. So going forward, just here we are. We're almost in spring of 2020. What do you got? Any specific, any unusual plans for the year that you haven't mentioned? That even if they don't pertain to what you do for work, you plan on traveling anywhere?
Oh,
Maybe-
my brother lives in Orlando and works for Disney World, so we always spend Thanksgiving down there. So.
Thanksgiving. That's not until not
Yeah.
until November.
No, but that's kind of the only thing that we have planned.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just going to be me working.
Working.
Yeah.
Okay. And teaching.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
teaching.
also working in your
yeah,
case.
absolutely. It's my favorite.
That's great. You prefer the teaching to the actual work.
I like them both in different ways.
I see.
I like that my time is split up kind of half and half
Yep.
because I never thought I would want to teach. When I was in cosmetology school, I always found myself helping out the newer kids, and they'd always be like, "You should be a teacher," and I said, "No, I don't want to do that." And now that I'm doing it, I love it.
You love it.
I love being able to share my knowledge with people and see them, performing well outside of the school. It's
Okay.
super rewarding. But I also really, really love doing fun things at the salon too. My favorite thing to do, in case you couldn't tell, is funky colors
Yeah,
and hair.
I can tell. I mentioned
and
it when you came in here.
Yeah, I love it when clients are willing to do something fun. I just had a friend/client come in last weekend for a pink purple kind of ombre in her hair. We tried out all
Ariana
these
Grande's
new
got nothing
colors.
on you guys.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
Okay.
so yeah, I love doing fun fashion colors. Those are like where my heart lies. I love making people into unicorns.
You love unicorns.
Yeah.
You put horns on them, that's even better.
Exactly.
Okay, well, guess what? We're under 5 minutes.
All right.
We made the time. So here's a couple things I'm going to ask you to do. Number one, if you had a good time with me tonight, I'm going to ask if you work with any models, anybody that's well known. I'd love to interview them on my show. We
Yeah.
can spread the word about Topic Time.
Absolutely.
And now what I want you to do is to give shouts out to people that are going to see the show. You can start with your friend over there,
Okay.
and then you can parents, whatever, and then we'll wrap it up. Go
Sounds
ahead.
great. So definitely
condense them.
shout out to my partner Emily for coming with me for moral support today. I would love to give a shout out to my boss Sherry from Cutting Edge Hair Designs and all the ladies I work with there. Kristen, Allison, Sue, Renee, Jess, everybody. A huge shout out to Anley Academy and all of my coworkers there because they are so amazing. Big shout out to Bella Malia Photography, my friend Shayna, for always, believing in me and helping me become a great makeup artist, and my family, my parents, my brother, my grandma for just always supporting me and never caring, no matter how many colleges I dropped out of.
Well, I think you may have set a record for just attending colleges.
Yeah, I think I might have, yeah.
So that in and of itself is worth noting.
Yes.
Well, I hope you had fun with me tonight.
Absolutely, it was so much fun.
Okay, and like I said, that's I get a lot of guests to word of mouth. So if you had fun, spread the word.
Of course, yeah,
You're
absolutely.
you're a very nice person. You're very easy to talk to, which
Thanks.
made my job easy.
Yeah, I like to talk.
It's good. Okay, so on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, folks, for watching Topic Time. More great episodes to follow. See you next time. Here we go. And that's a wrap. So how
Sounds
was it?
great. That was awesome.
Okay.